Good morning, friends. I just found out through one of my Facebook community support groups that it is not GTube, but it is Feeding Tube Awareness Week. And some of y'all have expressed interest in what like a day in the life kind of looks like over here. And I think it's hard to film, and I'm no expert at doing this, but I think it'd be fun to do a segment on all things GTube this week. So I just filmed how to like vent a tube. I just put some milk in the warmer for his next feed, and I can bring you along to show you all the steps of what it entails to have a high medical needs baby. Right now 100% GTube fed. So a GTube is a little device that is on the stomach, and it plugs in, and this is the bag, and we get shipments from our home medical suppliers, and then this is the pump. So this is our beautiful med cart. I need to still organize, but yeah, I can show you how to program the pump. This is what I've learned since I've been doing this the last, let's see, he was in the NICU for 3 months and he's almost 7 months, so the last 4 months, and it's gotten easier. I'm no medical profession, but I had to research a lot of like how to vent a tube because the NICU didn't teach us, and like there's, I think Colorado Children's Hospital had a YouTube video that like explained it and showed us, so I want to hopefully have it be a resource. So yeah, we're gonna do GTube specific stuff, so if it's not relatable to you, you can just skip on past. What you want to do for venting a GTube is you get an empty extender, the GTube extender, and you put an empty syringe cap in the med port. You close it up. Make sure your hands are washed. Again, I'm not a medical doctor or professional, but this is what I learned from Colorado State or a children's hospital on YouTube, and that's how you might have grabby little hands, so you want to try to have them be a little calm. So you get it connected in the GTube, and then you want it elevated, and sometimes giving them something to hold on to or putting them in a fish onesie. And then you take that out, and again, make sure it's elevated. And if you don't hear anything first come out, you can lift their bottoms, especially the right knee to the rib, because that's where gas is usually trapped and stored. And if nothing's coming out, then you're good. Sometimes hit or miss. We noticed too on walks, he would swallow air, and then we'd have to vent him again before a feed. So, and then you close it up and disconnect it. And that is how you vent a GTube. And close it up. We'll do this before every feed, and then if he's super uncomfortable or have a lot of air, we'll do it after a feed, after he's digested. Here's the milk. So what we're gonna do, grab the extender of the week that you're using, and we're gonna turn on the pump. The milk will go in here. So what we do is start with the feed, adjusting feed. So the feed volume is how much they're total getting, how much milk they're getting each feed, how much milk is going in this bag. So for the 2 bottles that we just warmed up over here, we have about 140, 145. So we put in the volume, 140. And then the feed rate is how much volume they're getting per hour. So this one took me so long to figure out. So these feeds used to take a full hour when he, his digestion and everything. We've finally gotten it down to like 40 minutes. And so how you do that is you double. So doubling 140 would be 30 minutes. And so we don't want it that full or that fast because his digestion is still working on it. And then we prime the pump. So what happens is we're gonna put the milk in here. This is the end of the bag. So we're gonna plug this in to the big one. Make sure your med port is closed. And then this is open and not clasped. So I will report back when I have the milk in here to show you. Okay, So as you can see, the milk is poured in the bag and we're going to auto prime it. And so what this does is removes any of the air bubbles in the lines of the bag, because we do not want him getting pumped with air. That's really uncomfortable, and it also could cause him to throw up. And so you see it kind of just, the machine pushes the milk from the bag down to the bottom of the tube. And so you can go through it a little bit. The other thing is, here's the end. This is the end that goes into his port in his stomach. Don't want to waste milk, but you want to make sure air bubbles are gone from it. So you can, instead of just hanging it out, you can put it in there and prime it. You can kind of see water going through. You can hold it out until it gets closer, but we're priming it and there it goes. And then you can just put the milk back in the bag so you're not wasting milk. I'm doing breast milk. I'm trying to wean off, and we're starting formula. I've pumped for about 7 months now. And so you just make sure there are no air bubbles in the line. And once you see it's cleared, press done. You want to clasp this so air does not, so it doesn't spill all over. Take it out, close the bag. We were doing this every 3 hours, 8 times a day, throughout the night as well. And then, like in the beginning, it'd take us an hour to finish the bag and then an hour to keep them upright. And there you have it. So this is the line that has all the milk. And I'm gonna go plug him in, and then when you're ready, you just press run, and then it starts.
Once the bag has cleared and the pump's done, the pump will also be showing how much has been fed and how much is still left to go. This pump, sometimes it can be 5 to 10 mils off, and that's okay. But once it goes through the tube, it usually beeps twice, usually around like this part, but you can literally see it, the milk going down. So it'll beep again, and the second beep is like, okay, it's getting close to flush. This is the whole tube, and I will show you. I missed the first alarm, so I'll get here for the second alarm. We programmed it for the rate, how much to be doing an hour, how much to be fed, and the total amount. So this is how much is left. So you can kind of hear that noise. That's the pump going through, and then it turns orange. And it'll give you an error, which means the bag is empty, which it is, or there's a clog. So it's not clogged, we know it's at the end. So now we watch it for it to go all the way down to that purple part. Okay, so you can see the milk just went. So now you press hold, and it holds. Once it's held, you can also just turn it off, and you have to press and hold. Now it's off. So now what we have, if you're at the hospital in the NICU, steal a bunch of these syringes, because I've kept them, and to flush the tube, it's usually half of this. So this is a 6 milliliter, just distilled water. You can use tap water, we do distilled. And so how to flush the tube is you close it. If you do not close it, milk will go everywhere. So make sure that's clamped. And then you open the med port and you put the syringe in. So I have put in the syringe to the med port, and I've reopened the clamp so that the water can be flushed through. So you just slowly flush the water through the tube. Sometimes there can be resistance to it, but you can start to see the milk kind of drain through. You kind of want to do it slowly. You don't want to do it too much, too fast. You kind of take breaks and mimic what the pump did. So this flushing the tube, make sure, one, that you get the remaining milk out that's in the extender, so they're getting the full total volume. But the other thing is to prevent clogs. We don't want the GTube site getting clogged inside. We'd never have that happen because we always flush it. But once they get on thicker foods or toddler puree things in the bag, clogs can happen. So this prevents it from having stale milk in the site or having it get really clogged. So you can see when the milk is almost gone, and this is about 3 to 4 mils that we flush it with. You can see that. And then once it's done, you clamp this again so water doesn't go everywhere. You unhook this, and it's okay if some water leaks out. You close this tube. If I can do this with one hand. Close that tube. We can rinse these. Put the cap back on. And then you can take this out and then rinse the bag with hot water.
Okay, this is one of the last segments of the GTube. This is how you flush the tube after the feed is done. So you'll disconnect them from the extender, and the extender is attached to the baby, and then and then this is the end of the bag. So you disconnect that, we turn it on. I ran my water a little longer so I could get it really heated. You will clear the settings, prime pump just like we did. We're running stuff through, and you can auto prime, but it never does it fully. So hold to prime. I already have all my hot water in here. You do not need that much. I just use it to get the bag really nice and clean. And then you literally have to hold it. So my setup here is, there's the bag of water. You press hold, and you'll literally be able to see all the old milk that was in there get flushed through the tube. You can literally see it moving. And those, when you first prime it with milk, sometimes that's what you get, all those air bubbles. So that's why you want to prime it for a few seconds. So even though all the milk's in, you're getting all those air bubbles out. So it's not causing any discomfort to the baby. Because that's a lot of air bubbles. And then it's clear, so that's the water. And while I do this, I rinse all my pump parts that have been sitting in soapy tissue water, and I'll pump after. But yeah, that is the process. And then once you get once the line is pretty flushed out and you've got all the milk or no residue, you can dump more than half, and then just do the remaining bits of it, and then turn it off. And then it's ready to go for the next